meditation.
Chakras in
Maybe.
meditation, sure.
Without headaches.
Well, how about if I combine chakras and jhana?
Well, sure.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that's.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's even better.
So
That's
the
good.
first thing to say about chakras in a Hindu context is that Siddhartha Gautama and Patanjali both mention chakras. They do not list 7 chakras.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably, Siddhartha Gautama's reference to chakra could be something completely different, not at all related to spiritual centers. Patanjali does discuss centers. I think the most important thing to get about the chakras is it's a myth that you have to start with the first chakra and work your way up.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Right. I subscribed to that myth in my first year of meditation practice. Took me about a year to work through the first 3 chakras, by the time I got to the third chakra, I had horrible indigestion.
Oh, really?
And by the time I got to the heart chakra, I realized that the lower 3 chakras everybody's already obsessing over, and you don't need to make that your meditation object anymore. Meditation and spiritual enlightenment is about the upper 4, not about the lower 3. It's not that we're going to necessarily deny or suppress the activity in the lower 3, but we're already obsessed with the lower 3. Let's work on waking the upper 4 that are dormant in most people. All right, so the 4th chakra is the heart chakra, and when the heart chakra opens up, we generally feel profound love, a kind of universal love. And Teresa of Avila described the opening of the heart chakra quite beautifully. She said that her heart was pierced with an arrow of light from Christ, and it totally transformed her life. My journey through the heart chakra was that I would, let's say, apply myself diligently to meditation, usually in the context of a 10-day meditation retreat. And, I'd have this profound, universal love thing going on. And as soon as the retreat was over, I'd be looking for somebody to have a relationship with. So I kept diverting it to human love. And I think that's the danger of the heart chakra, is that it's all too easy to descend into the lower 3, right? From the heart chakra. You fall in love with somebody, that's a heart chakra experience, but it's not universal, it's objectified with a particular individual. Usually the heart chakra is also, there's not a direct mapping of the chakras with respect to jhana, but the heart chakra would be associated with the first jhana, because remember, the first jhana is about bliss and joy. And it's not about the stilling of the mind. So that would be really the heart chakra is the first jhana. And then if we want to make a chakra association, the next chakra to become aware of is the throat chakra. And the throat chakra would, let's say, be loosely associated with the second jhana, the stilling of the mind, which is the stilling of the mind. And once you've really become established in the stilling of the mind, you can have your heart chakra opened, and you're not going to be diverted easily into human relationships and have that whole, your whole spiritual journey hijacked by a relationship, which is what I did for at least a couple decades. I hijacked my spiritual journey with relationships. One of the sensations of the heart chakra opening will be, we have these tingles that we notice in our body especially when we get to the third jhana, And some of those tingles we might notice are associated with the chakras. So by the time we're at the third jhana, our chakras are going to be pretty well lit up, and we're going to be able to feel them, really all 7 of them. The other thing is when we go from the second to the third chakra, remember we go through that hypersensitive phase, and part of the hypersensitive phase is a fair number of people go through a period of hypersexuality, and they feel guilt-ridden because they just feel horny all the time. This profound sexual awakening thing. And again, it's all too easy to have your spiritual journey hijacked by the lower 3 or 4 chakras. But it's also normal. That hypersensitive phase is normal for us to experience. And, the solution is just to keep moving forward, keep meditating on a daily basis, keep working on your depth of your meditation, and keep working on letting go at deeper and deeper levels. Let's see, so the sensation of the heart chakra opening up, oftentimes people report it feels like there's a gaping hole in the chest, or there's just this profound sense of love, more love than you've ever experienced before, kind of love. And preferably, you're not going to want to objectify it with a particular individual. The opening of the throat chakra is quite different. In my experience, there was almost a sense of strangulation, a feeling of being kind of choked at the throat. And I wasn't sure what was going on until I had a conversation with a meditation teacher at a retreat, and he was one of those people who didn't know much about the charismatic phenomena, but he happened to say, I have that problem too. And as soon as he said that he also had this kind of strangulation or choking kind of sensation around the throat, was when I realized, that, okay, this is the charismatic manifestation of the throat chakra opening. Psychologically speaking, the throat chakra is about truth, speaking the truth. The person who has their throat chakra open is not going to treat kindly those who want to silence them. It's going to be an imperative to speak the truth. Then there's so then the next chakra is the third eye, and the sensation of the third eye is, again, it's this kind of pressure or tingling, usually between the eyebrows, and that's where insight is. That's where we gain intuitive revelatory insight, and not insight in the incorrect interpretation of it as if insight were mindfulness. Mindfulness and insight are not the same thing. Insight is intuitive, it's revelatory, it's the ability to read a text that was incorrectly translated, and to be able to read between the lines and go, you know what, I think this was incorrectly translated, and it probably says this, right? That's how I do my translation work, is I use a lot of insight when I'm reading through a document, and when I find something that strikes me as incorrectly translated, then I'll go look up the original language and look at a series of dictionaries and look at the context in which that stanza is used, and come up with my own translation. And by the time you get to insight, you're well on your way. So let's say the throat chakra would be associated with the second jhana, and the third eye is associated with the third jhana, and then the fourth jhana would be associated with the crown chakra. And the crown chakra is a kind of sensation of a gaping hole in the top of your head, or some people talk about it having a kind of crown, sensation of a crown, or I can't remember other descriptions of it. But once the crown chakra is open, some Indic traditions consider, okay, now you're fully enlightened. But within a Buddhic context, well, you're only up to the 4th jhana. You've got 4 more to go. But compared to the rest of the people on the planet, you're enlightened. You're a great, wise one, and you should be honored and respected by your peers because you've made a tremendous effort and you've paid off. And also, once the crown chakra is open, then the sense of universality and the loss of identity, loss of identity, or sense of identity goes down, and the sense of universality goes up as we move up the chakra chain. And since the question of headaches associated with meditation states came up, I think that there are a number of people who have reported that, and it could very well be that they are having let's say a chakra opening experience, or they're experiencing charismatic phenomena in the head, and it's foreign to them, so they're going to interpret it as a headache. And the only thing I can suggest is to practice deep relaxation and deep letting go, and eventually that headache will turn from unpleasant to pleasant.